everyone, and welcome to Dynamic Dune. This video discusses ideal positions and how you should position your product to have the best customer buying criteria. If you haven't watched the customer buying criteria video, I put the link in the description. You should go and watch it before because it's very important to be caught up and understand everything. All right, good luck and enjoy the video. And sorry for the long video. It's just I had to put a lot of details in this video. I hope you appreciate it. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Okay, and when we go to industry conditions report, we can scroll down to drift rates. Drift rates are basically the rate at which customer wants shift every round. So as you see here, these are the drift rates for all segments. For traditional, low-end, high-end, performance, and size. We have 5 segments. And you see here, performance has plus signs, size has negative signs. What this means is that each round customers want higher performance and lower size. So customers want products with higher performance and lower size, smaller size. Each segment shifts differently. Traditional, for example, every round customers will want plus 0.7 in performance and negative 0.7 in size. And then in performance segment, for example, customers will want plus 1 in performance and in size negative 0.7. So as you see, each segment has different number, and you need to pay attention to that customers want shift every round, and you need and we will go right now and show you how you can calculate the shift. As you see here, Capsim gave us a table with the segment centers at the end of each round. What does that mean? So here it says the information in table 2 reflects the segment centers at the end of the round. Okay, so for example, at the end of round 0, traditional segment center was at 5.0 performance and 15.0 size. So okay, so that means the middle of the segment. So as you see here, for example, this is the segment, right? This is the circle of the segment here. This is the circle of the segment. The middle of the segment, for example, for the middle of the segment, at the end of round 0 was 5.0 performance and 15 size. All right, and they tell you this, that each month during the simulation year, the segment drifts 1/12 of the distance from the starting position to the ending position. Okay, so what this means is that each round is considered as a year, right? Each round is considered as a year. So within, like between the rounds, like between round 0 and round 1, customer wants shift. They continue on moving. It never stops. So what that means is that so we knew before that the traditional segments drift is plus 0.7 performance and negative 0.7 size. And we saw here, it did happen. Like the traditional segment was at the end of round 0 was 5 for performance and 15 for size. And then in the beginning of round 1, at the end of round 1, this is the beginning of round 1. So this is the end of round 0 and the beginning of round 1. And then at the end of round 1, traditional segment performance is 5.7 and the size is 14.3. So it is true, the traditional segment, the drift is plus plus 0.7 for performance and negative 0.7 for size. And we saw it happen here. Performance increased by 0.7 and size decreased by 7. By 0.7. Okay, so what that means in here when they say that each month during the simulation year, the segment drifts 1/12 of the distance from the starting position to the ending position. This means that in round 1 there are 12 months. So you need to multiply 1/12 to 0.7, right? And if you do that, you will see how much the customer segment drifts each month of the simulation. So each month, so we have 12 months each round, because 12 months each year. So 12 months each round, and when you multiply 1/12 with 0.7, you will get okay. So let me calculate this for you to show you how you can calculate this. Let's go to calculator. Okay, so we go 1 divided by 12 equals this, multiplied by 0.7, and you will get this is the number. So each 1 month of the simulation, the segment drifts by this, right? So let's say, for example, we want to know June, how is the segment gonna be positioned, right? So we multiply this by 6 months. So basically it tells you 0.35. Okay, awesome. So now we know that the performance is gonna be 5.35 in the middle of round 1. So the month of June in round 1, performance is gonna be 5.35, and size is gonna be 14.65. 14.65. Yeah. So this is basically what you will be getting in this. So this is gonna be the middle of the segment. However, what you need to know is this: the middle of the segment is not what customers want. Well, not necessarily. So if you scroll down, you will go to ideal spots. So here it says the third table, this one, ideal spot offsets. So customers prefer products located this distance from the center of the segment circle, right? So for traditional, it is very easy to calculate. We just did it right now. So it's gonna be so whatever is in here for traditional, this is what customers want. So when we calculated, for example, June for round 1, 5.35 was the performance that customers wanted in the product in the month of June. So technically we know exactly in each month what customers want, and that is a very, very good thing to know. So it's very easy to calculate for traditional, so we're not going to look at this. I think you all got it, and if you don't, just comment and I will try to explain more. Okay, and then for low end, for example, it tells you that the customers want products that are located this distance from the center of the segment circle. So customers want a product with performance that has negative 0.8 and size plus 0.8 from the customer segment. So let's go and look. For example, in the beginning of round one, low end segment, in the beginning of round one, this is the beginning of round one, the center of the segment is 2.5 performance and 17.5 in size. So we want to know in the beginning of the round, what is the customer's want? What is the customer's demand for the product? So for performance, they want 2.5, negative 0.8 or minus 0.8. So we go to the calculator, we go back to the calculator, and we go and we say the customers, the segment center is what was it? It was 2.5. So it is 2.5. So 2.5 negative or minus 0.8. 0.8 is here in the ideal spot. Basically, they want it to be less performance. So you go equal. So that means 1.7. So in the beginning of round one for low end, customers actually wanted a product with a performance that is 1.7. Awesome. So that means in the month of January, customers want a product that is 1.7 performance. And then for size, it is in the beginning of the year, it is 17.5. And the customers want plus 0.8. So we go and we say 17.5 plus 0.8 equals 18.3. So actually customers don't want a product that is 17.5 in size. They want a product that is 18.3 in size. So technically it's a cheaper product because the lower the performance and the higher the size, the cheaper the product. Okay, so now we know that low-end customers want cheap products. So let's say that we want to calculate the month of June. So if you want to calculate the month of June in this simulation, you want your product, you want to set your product to the middle of the year. You go and you say, okay, so the month of June. Let's see. So the segment, the low end segment performance increases by +5, and the size decreases by -5. Sorry, -0.5 every round. So what you want to do is you want to take basically 2.5, right? Like 0.25, and you'll say, okay, all right. So that means that we said that in the beginning of the performance segment, in the beginning of the year of round one, the performance of the low end segment was 1.7, right? It was 1.7, right? So it was 1.7. We go and we say, okay, so plus 0.25 equals. So that means in June, in the month of June, in the middle of the round, customers are going to want a product that is 1.95 in performance. So basically 2. It's going to be rounded to 2 in the simulation. So now we know that. So that's a good thing to know. So now we know in the middle of the year what customers want. So that's a perfect thing. So, okay, let's go with one that is a little bit harder, different. Okay, so performance size for performance segment, for example, performance or size. So let's go with the performance segment. So the ideal spot for the performance segment moves 1.4 in performance, plus 1.4 in performance, and in size, -1. What does that mean? So we go and we look at the performance segment. So this is the performance segment, and the performance in the beginning of round 1 is 8, and size in the beginning of round 1 is 17. A reminder again, these numbers here, or this table here tells you the numbers for the segment centers, right? The center of the segment. And customers don't necessarily want the center of the segment, they want the ideal spot. So that's what we're calculating right now. So performance is 8 and size is 17 for the performance segment, right? So this is the center, and if we go up here, well, technically you don't need to go up. You can calculate it from here. If we go and we say, okay, so 8 plus 9, that means 1. So the performance segment increases by 1 in performance every round. And if you go and you look in here, look, performance segment, performance increases plus 1. So this table is already integrated in here. This table is already in here. So technically you don't need to go and look back in here, but if you just want to go and double check, you can do that. But you see here, we want to know what is the performance that customers want in the performance segment in the beginning of round 0. So we go and we say, okay, so that means 8 plus 1.4. So you go here, you go 8 plus 1.4 equals 9.4. So technically, what customers want for performance in the beginning of the round is 9.4. Perfect? So 9.4, that's what customers want. And then for size, in the beginning of round 1, customers want a size that is -1 to the center. So -1 to far from the center. So what you want to go and what you want to do is look here. Okay, what is the center? The center for size in the performance segment in round 0, it is 17. So you go and you be like, okay, so what customers want is 1 less 17, right? So or 17 less 1. So you go and you be like, okay, that means I'm calculating this, but I know it, all of you know. Just want to show you how you can do it. So it's 16. So perfect. So that means what customers want is actually 9.4 and 16. So 9.4 in performance and 16 in size in the beginning of the round. So you go and you say, okay, so I want to know what is gonna be the performance for the performance that customers want in the middle of the round, because I want my product to be positioned in the middle, because I think that is better. So what you want to do is, okay, so we said that it is actually 9.4, not 8, what customers want, because remember, 8 plus 1.4. So 8 plus 1.4 is 9.4. So 9.4, and what is the drift for this segment? It's obvious in here. You see it. 8 plus 8 and 9 at the end. So 8 in the beginning, 9 at the end for the customer center. So what that means is that the drift is 1, right? So in June, in the middle of the year, it's gonna be 0.5, right? Half. So that's what you're gonna do. So we say what customers want is actually 9.4, because 8 plus 1.4 plus 0.5 equals 9.9, right? So 9.4 plus 0.5 equals 9.9. So in the middle of round 1, customers are going to want a product that is 9.9 performance. All right, and then for size, what is the shift for what is the drift for size in performance segment? So it seems that the drift is negative 0.7, right? So you go and you look here, negative 0.7. And that's perfect. So you go and you say, okay, so this is the center of the segment. It's 17 in the beginning of round 1. That's the center of the segment. I want to know what is the number that customers want, actually, or the size that customers want in the beginning. So we go and you say, all right, so it is negative 1 from the center of the segment. So you go and you say 17, negative 1 is 16. Perfect. So in the beginning, customers want a product that is 16 in size. Okay, so 16 in size. So we say that in the beginning, size is 16, and it shifts by negative 0.7, right? Each year, each round, it shifts by negative 0.7. So we go and you say, okay, so what is half of negative 0.7? It is negative 0.35. So you go and you say, all right, so that means 16 minus 0.35 equals 15.65. And that means that in the middle of round 1, size is gonna be 15.65, right? Size is gonna be 15.65 in the middle of round 1. So that's where you want to position your product, right? So why am I keep on telling you guys to position your product in the middle of the year?
Got off the wires when I close my eyes, disconnected and tired. I see you. I see you, yeah. And I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired.
Okay, so this is an example that I am giving to you here to understand the ideal position and how it works. So we talked before and we said that in each round there are 12 months. So it's each round is a year and there are 12 months, and each month the ideal position moves 1/12, right? So in January it's gonna be around here, in February it's gonna be around here, and then in March here, something like that, right? So it's gonna be moving slowly, and at a constant pace, right? It's not gonna be changing the speed or anything. It's gonna be the same speed of moving in every month. So I gave this example to show you why positioning your product in the middle is the best choice. So in 2018. This is the year of 2018, right? January, December, and then June in the middle. So this is your product, and then your competitors are blue and green. So we're going to be rating products from first to third, right? Because there are 3 products. We're going to be rating them from first to third. So in the beginning of January, 2018, what is the best product in here? The best product in terms of ideal position is gonna be blue, right? Because it is the closest. It is the closest to January. So blue is the best product. And what is the second product? Red is you. Your product is the second product. And then the third product is green. So in terms of sales, customers are gonna want to buy the blue. And if the blue doesn't have, they're gonna buy the red. And then if the red doesn't have, they're gonna buy the green. That's how it works. So, and then the product is gonna be moving January, February, March. January, February, March, and then when you reach through April here, some shift is gonna happen. What's gonna happen is that June, your product that is positioned at June is gonna be number 1, the closest product the closest product to the ideal position, and then blue is gonna be second, and green is gonna be third. So green is third again, and it's gonna be moving. You're first, you're selling, you're having fun, yay, you're selling everything, and then you're gonna reach here around September or August, September. You're gonna be number 2 in terms of the distance from the ideal position, and green is gonna be number 1, and blue is gonna be number 3. So it's gonna be moving, and it's gonna continue. You're number 2, green is number 1, and number 3 is blue. And the year ends, and it's the same thing. Green is number 1, you number 2, and blue is number 3. If you noticed here, you never were number 3 in terms of sales, in terms of customers wanting to buy your product. Why? Because you've been close to the product as much as you can. But for green, in the beginning of the year, green was too far, and it wasn't basically satisfying customers. It was like, oh, you're too far from us, we don't want you. And blue was close, and you were in the middle. Like, you were so-so. Okay, you're not bad, but you're not the best. And then in the middle of the year, you were the best, and they were second and third, right? And then second and third. That's how it is. And then you became second again, and blue became third, and green is first at the end of the year. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, is position your product in the middle. Why? Because of this. You want to be as close as possible to the ideal position. I hope that this makes sense for you. If it doesn't, I know it is my part. I did not explain it very well. Just ask me in the comments, and I will explain it more to you in depth. All right. So this is